Hello, everyone. Okay, we're live. So waiting for, okay. So I'm trying to fix the same time. So hello, everyone. Professor. Okay, invite to participate. Okay, let's see. Hello, everyone. So we are going to wait just a few minutes before starting. I hope you're all doing well. We are not so much today. We can see that it's summer break, right? Hello, hello. Yeah, okay, we are going to wait a few minutes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it works. Finally.
Finally. Yeah, it was so weird. It was not working.
Yeah.
What it is.
Yeah, same for me. It was quite difficult
Okay.
just to set up. I don't know why it's so complicated.
Patrick is asking for sushi. We
Yeah,
should have sushi sometime.
it's true. Okay, just let me fix that. Yeah, now it's better this way. Oh, we are not so much. Huh?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, really? Benjamin is saying that my sound is quite lower than yours.
Not much.
Can you hear me well, Leslie?
Yeah, so far well.
Okay. Okay. So we are 7. It's not like it's not what we got last month. You can see that people are just enjoying being on the
Summer.
beach.
How many were you last?
Yeah.
How
Okay.
many were you last month?
We're about more than almost 50, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah. Much more than today. Okay, but anyway, maybe we can just start. We wait for 30 seconds more, and then we can start. Breakfast? No, I didn't miss breakfast. Hello, Angelos. Agis. Yeah. I think we have more people from the team than from outside today. So that's quite interesting anyway. Okay, so let's start. So thank you for joining us today for our community call, so our monthly community call. So the idea is to talk. It's always the same. It's to talk about what we did during the last month with the team. I think it's just important to give you some feedback and insight on what we were working on. So what we delivered at least, and obviously what we are going to work on next. The idea is to exchange. So if you have any questions concerning what we did, what is going to come next, just do not hesitate to ask your question into the little chat. So you can use there is a system. So you have the chat, and you also have questions tab that you can use. So it's better to use that. Then we can know that we have responded to your questions. Otherwise, it's more complex. Yeah, a few slides just to give you some news concerning the teams, the community, obviously, and we have a Q&A session at the end. So, all right, drinking a tea, listening to Master. So yeah, just to so for the new players, the newcomers, just a few words concerning Qovery. So Qovery is a platform. That's the platform that you will build for your own company or your own project. Is exactly what you need if you need to deploy your application. You're a developer, you need to deploy your applications, make it live for real. But maybe you don't have the knowledge in terms of infrastructure. So Qovery, it's the AeroQ-like experience that you would need. The main difference that you have is that instead of hosting, so instead of being an hosting platform, we deploy the application on your own cloud account. So that's the main benefit of Qovery with all the experience. So yeah, just give it a try. It's quite easy to use. Concerning the new info, so I think when I was working on the last slide, so we were at 5. So last month we were at 5,000 more users on the platform, and today we are at more than 6,800 developers using the platform, still with more than 120 countries. So that's it's a huge improvement. So I would like to thank again all the contributors, because you were like quite you were quite active during the last month, so proposing creating new content, video content. It was quite powerful, because we just grow the user base much higher. And I would love to thanks again the the community that is also spending some time to onboard a new user on the platform. It helps a lot, because they spend time to respond to questions. It's very important. So thank you for all of that, and it's great. So what we were working on during the month of July? If you were at the previous community call, you knew that we launched what we call the V2 version. So it was a big announcement, a huge change in terms of product. I think, Leslie, if you see any questions, just do not hesitate to interrupt me. I can't read all the messages, but I see that people are just sending message through the chat, so do not hesitate. But yeah, so concerning, you know that we launched the V2 version, which is a huge improvement, a huge change. We asked to our user to move from the V1 to the V2, because now the main interface is the web interface, and no longer the CLI. And during the last month, so we spent time to stabilize the platform and making sure that the missing features are now available. And the first one was the most attended one, which is the environment variable and the secret obviously. So I'm going to show you, but for those that know the platform, it will be quite obvious. But for those that don't know, then it will be the discovery. Okay, so I have a video showing how you have to use, so how it's easy to use, so the environment variable and secret. Just to remind you, what is the environment variable? Environment variable are the variable that you use to inject credentials, inject specific configurations to your application at the build time and the runtime. For instance, if you need to set your application in a debug mode, the most common things that you have to do is to use into your code, your application, a non-environment variable that could be like debug, and read this environment variable, and then make your code reacting, behaving the right way depending on the value of this environment variable. So through Qovery, through the web interface, what we bring is this ability to now configure all those environment variable through the web interface. So that's exactly what I'm showing. So when you get into the application view, you have just to click on the tabs, so the environment variables tab, and then you get access to two other tabs, which are environment variables and secret variables. So you can then start to create your environment variable. That's exactly what I'm showing. So debug, true, you create, and then the environment variable is automatically added and injected to your application. So here I'm showing that you can also add alias, what we call alias. So you can create another name that is linked to this environment variable using the same value, but in fact, creating a new, what we call key variable. You can create override. So it's all explained into the documentation. But for instance, if you set at a higher level an environment variable debug true, and at another environment at another level you want to override this value because you are maybe running in production and you don't want to see the debug logs, then you can create what we call an override. So here we are creating an override, and that's it. So very straightforward. I think all the developers know about environment variable. I think the missing things that we get, so now it's not the missing thing, but the new things that we get since, if you were familiar with the V1, is the secret management. So yeah, make it full screen when playing video. Yeah, is it better now, guys? Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, it looks better now. Mm-hmm.
It's better? Okay, great. Yeah. So the secret, the difference between the environment variable and the secret is that on the secret, it's the same behavior for your application. So the idea is to get access to the value from a variable. So you will use the same way as an environment variable, but we will protect the value, we'll make it secure, it will be encrypted. So it's very important to consider using secret instead of environment variable when you are injecting, for instance, a very sensitive information. Let's take the example of here, Stripe API key. So Stripe API key. So yeah, we create this key, and the idea is to never be able to reveal the value of this key. When you set you don't want to reveal the key to anyone. So you want to keep it secure, even on the Qovery side. And this is the best way just to secure all those information. So here, this is exactly what we're showing. It's very similar. In fact, in terms of experience, it's similar to environment variable. The difference is you can't edit. So you can update, you can change the value, the value from the secret, but you can't edit, you can't read and reveal the value. That's very, very important. So yes. And here we see that we are restarting the application just to apply all the different changes that we made on the environment variable and secret file. Okay. Any questions concerning environment variable? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay. It's quiet today. Super quiet. Okay. We can move forward then. Yeah. So the second thing that we were working on, besides all the improvement that we are doing in terms of experience and the little changes that we made, you saw a lot of them, especially on the logs level. We worked on the new version of the CLI, even if it's not it's no longer the main way of interacting with Qovery. It's still a very convenient way of doing that, especially when you're a developer and you are working on your IDE and you need to just get the status of your applications, because Qovery can redeploy your applications when you're doing a commit change and you just want to get to be aware of that change and know when it will be deployed, then using the CLI makes completely sense. So here in this video, same, I'm going to zoom now. Yes, it's better. You will see so that the CLI is still the same. You install it the same as on the V1. It's well explained on the documentation, so it's quite easy. We are integrating on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, so we are on the different package manager from those platforms. So the first thing that you have to do is Qovery auth. So to authenticate yourself, so your browser will open a window and then you get authenticated. And then you can start to what we call setting the context. So by setting the context, you can specify, so it's the main difference with the previous version, you will be able to select the organization if you have multiple organizations, the project where you want to act on, the environment, and the application. So that's what we are. Oops, it was, I think you lose my screen, right?
We
Okay.
cannot see anymore.
Yeah, okay. Just wait. Yeah. So this is what you see here. We have a setup. So let me just go back. We have set up the organization, the project, the environment, and the application. And then you can get access to the different information in a very seamless way, very simple, in very light way, because we consider that if you want to get more information, you're better to use the web interface. So here, this is what you see. So if we open, we type a Qovery console, then you get access to your application. And what you have to look at is the Qovery log here is not showing any logs because the application is not deployed, but it's exactly what we are going to do in the video. So we are loading the web interface, deploying the application again. So status, now it's running, and the application is well running, and we get access to the logs directly from the CLI. Yes. Any question?
There is one question from Cartier. Yeah, it's like, will this be the same as in docs, in the connotations?
It's the same. It has changed. If he is talking about Socratic, if you want to be a bit more specific about your question, but yeah, it's similar in the doc because the doc was updated. If you are talking about the V1, it has changed. The commands have been completely changed. Now it's much more lightweight. So you don't have all the commands that you get before, but it's much more easier to use the Qovery CLI, the new one, than the old one.
Cool. One more question, Angelos. I mentioned this a while back, but are there any plans to bring the CLI over the Windjet, Windows Package Manager?
Oh, that's a very good question. To be honest, I don't know. For me, it's something that is handled by the team, but I can ask to the team and come back to you as soon as possible. I was thinking that it was the case, but it's definitely not if you are asking. So I will come back to you on JLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good. Thanks. Yeah.
Thank
More
you.
questions?
Okay. Yeah. What more? So if you are on Discord and on Twitter following us, you may know we have released last month. So our Go API client. Basically, the idea is to provide a very seamless way. You know, Go is a very popular language, mostly used by you have backend developers, but also people that are managing infrastructure. It's a very easy language to use, quite used in the cloud space. And what we wanted to provide is a way to control and start to play with the Qovery API in a very seamless way. And that's what we did with this Go API client. So if you want to play with that, then you can just jump into GitHub and get access to the library. You just need to include this dependency into your project. And what's interesting about that is that we expand, we 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 generated the clients with the OpenAPI generator. So what does that mean? It means that if you are using another client which is not a Go and you want to get the same client for the language like Python, JavaScript, Java, Kotlin, Rust, anything, then you can generate yourself the client from this Open API generator. So to get access to the documentation that you need, so it's a Swagger file that you can download here. So it's an OpenAPI spec file that you can download from the api-doc.qovery.com, and then from those information, then the client will be generated. So it's quite easy and quite straightforward to use. So any questions on that?
Not really so far. Anyway, I share the link on GitHub.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
You can try it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was maybe the biggest announcement that we had for the last month. What we were working on very hard. We made also huge improvements on the logs part and the teeny bugs that we had. So I think you noticed that or not. But yes, it's a continuous improvement. It's a iterative process, and we are still working hard on all of that. So yeah, what we plan to work on next, especially during the August month, because we plan to release it's the stable version of the V2 of Qovery. So making sure that the goal of Qovery is to provide not only hosting a simple application from individual developers, but also helping companies and people that want to work all together on their project to do that with Qovery. So what we plan is to focus on making sure that the startup plan, so deploying using Qovery on your own AWS account and DigitalOcean account. That was the case with the V1, but no longer with the V2 since we changed everything. Will be possible with for September. It's a very important one. So we'll specifically dedicate all our time on that and still working on the improvement. And what we bring those aspects is mostly from you as individual developers, if you are, is the organization settings, because today, if you go get into the organization, you will see that, yeah, you can create an organization, but you can't do anything. For instance, some people are a user doesn't have or no longer have credits, and they can't just know that they don't have credits, and they have to ask or they have to use the API themselves, which is not very convenient. Since we are working on the organization setting, they will have the ability to get all the information from that view. So it's quite important. So yes, just to summarize, working on organization settings, making sure that our user can deploy their application on their AWS account, DigitalOcean accounts, And obviously, spending time, we invest a lot of time in improving the user experience. And today we have one person in the team that is dedicated to that task, which is Patrick, spending all his time to finding a way to improve the overall experience. It's very important. Yeah. So that's the organization. This is what will look like the interface. So the ability to edit your basic settings from the organizations, the cluster, members, if you want to add other people joining you working on the same organizations, billing plan and danger zone to mostly delete your organization. Yeah, any question maybe for the last point?
No questions.
Okay, great. Yeah, the team is growing, and this week especially, and during the last day was quite interesting because we are hiring still. It's still very complicated to hire the right people, but I'm really excited to welcome and to get you, Leslie, into the team. So maybe if you want to say a word to the community about who you are, what you did, and what you will be working on at Qovery could be just great.
Yeah, thank you so much. And hello, everyone. I'm Leslie. I'm from Bolivia. I have a background in computer science and I work a lot with tech communities, mostly in Latin America. And I'm super excited to join the team at Qovery and yeah, get to know what people are building, what they need in terms of help. And I've been chatting already with the ambassadors. They are doing such a great job, and we are super happy to come back with to the community with different activities and challenges. And just take some time on that to mention what Patrick was saying on the chat, the announcement. We are actually planning to have a sort of contest for beginners that are deploying their applications on Qovery. And we'll be back to community with some more updates about it so we can all get more knowledge about these applications and Qovery and yeah, to keep contributing to our community. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you again for the welcome. And yeah, super happy to get to meet you.
Thank you so much, Leslie. It's a real pleasure to have you in the team. And yeah, I'm also pleased to get Arno in the team. She's DevRel. Is going to focus mostly on onboarding startups and making sure that the startups ecosystem is aware of Qovery and how and make sure that they find the value that they need into the product. So if you want to welcome Arno, just do not hesitate to jump into our Discord and ping Arno to say, hey, we are here. Yes, that's great. And obviously, so yeah, all of that will not be possible without our great community members. So yeah, thanks to you guys. You're doing great, spending a lot of time. I'm talking to Kartik, Ajis, and Jambang this month that were quite active, super active. As always, Kartik, you made a great job helping people on Discord, and Discord it's super great. So thanks so much. Ajis, same. You're doing great, spending time to help the community, writing content all the time. I don't even know how you spend so much time helping the community, and it's really a real pleasure. So thanks a lot. And Jambang, the newcomer of the month, because he spent a lot of time talking. Also, trying to discover Qovery and really help the newcomers. So thanks again. That's great. And we have also a few contributors that created content this week. We have Eric, so for creating video content concerning Qovery how to deploy applications, mostly bots. So it's quite fun because we discovered that a lot of users are quite happy to deploy bots. It's very pleasant to see that we have some actors that are just doing great content and distributing to all their community. So thanks to Eric, Teletips, and Aditya. Aditya made just a great job because he also helped us as just gathering all the information from his community, which is quite huge. Um, trying just to educate also his users. It's just great creating a Telegram for Qovery and giving me access because I was not super aware of Telegram. And I didn't know that so many people were using that. So thank you, thank you. Ajos, same, I told you, but thank you so much for writing this great content about like how to create a Discord bot with Python and also deploying it with Qovery. So thank you guys. So yeah, it's all good for today. I hope you enjoy. And do you have any questions? Just let me know. We have a few minutes left if you want.
Yes, there is one more question. Angelos, will the accounts, the AWS, require credits or will they use Qovery credits?
Oh, okay. If I'm not sure about the question, Agis, but if you want to be more specific, just do it. If you're talking about the credits are working on the community plan and also on the starter plans, the paid plan. So if you have credits that you are, because you are contributing, helping the community, you can apply those credits on every plan. There is no distinction. There is no problem for that. So if you want to use your credit and you want to use the starter plan, yeah, it works. Definitely it works.
Yeah, one more. Stefan, can anyone recommend a link to a Git repo for a working Python app using Qovery version 2? I tried both, the Django and the Flask repo. I couldn't not deploy them in V2.
Yeah. Can anyone recommend a link to a Git repo for working Python app using Qovery v2? Oh, okay, it's a question for the community, and I let the community just recommending a link. They will have for sure. There is just to respond to you, Stefan. There is a tutorial and guide section that you can find on. So if you type tutorial Qovery, for instance, we have a guide sections explaining everything. So how you can get started with Qovery, but we also have tutorial one where you can find tutorial from the community or from the team on how to get started with a specific language or framework with Qovery. So just do not hesitate to jump into that. And if you have if you don't find the answer, just you can ask on our forum and even on Discord. It works pretty well. Yeah. Okay. So thanks a lot. One more question.
No. I say for the other questions, we are on Discord and yeah, on the forum.
Yeah, exactly. So, and do not hesitate to follow us on Twitter. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.